Would you fix a fight? Now, I'm not asking you, would you be part of it like a mafia boss? I'm talking about you're the athlete. Okay, you're red corner, you're blue corner. In fact, let's just call you red. You're the red corner. You're going to fix a fight. Now, you don't have the option to train extra hard and put your foot down on the gas and go out and get rid of this guy. The only way to fix it, the only way to know is if we fix it against you. So you are going to take a loss. Now, a lot's going to happen. The other guy could twist his ankle. You get some good shots in, and the other guy's cornerman stops the fight. You knock the guy down, and the referee gets overjealous, and he steps in and breaks it, and you're thinking, oh my goodness, I didn't even mean to do any of those things. Let this fight keep going. So now to circumvent some kind of a weird happenstance, not only are you throwing the fight and you're going to lose it, you're going to have to get finished. And then the bottom line, if you're going to get finished so you don't spend more time on TV acting like the untrained stuntman that you are, you're going to get finished quickly. Okay, but if I'm asking you, would you do that? Now, yes. Most of you are saying, yes, I would, for a certain number, right? You're wanting me to finish. I'm like, well, Chael, if we're going to play this game, is it for $1 million? No, it's not for $1 million. Well, how much is it for? I don't know, but it's not all that much money. Let's call it 50 grand. Well, Chael, 50 grand's a lot of money. Oh, okay, but hold on. You as the fighter, if you go out and win, which, by the way, you're plenty capable of doing, you're going to get $50,000. You're going to get that in the form of $25,000 as your win bonus, $25,000 for your show, but you are now going to be guaranteed another fight. And just to show for that fight, it also pays 25 grand, and if you win it, you'll get another 25. All of a sudden, you're at 75 grand. By the way, both of these nights, you're eligible for an of-the-night bonus, which happens to be $50,000. Now, you win some, you lose some, but in a reasonable scenario, I just dropped a pretty easy way to come up with 200 grand. And though it's a pretty easy way, it's not overly likely. It's hard to do. So let's just cut it in half. I just dropped a way that you're going to probably safely walk away with 100 grand. Or you can take the dive, running the risk of being cut. Now, not because you got caught taking a dive, but because you lost your last fight. You lose 2 in a row, you're very likely to be cut. You're very eligible to be cut, not to mention you're an undercard guy to start with. So let's rework this. I'm asking you if you will go out. You are in a sport, you are in the number one sport that is least synonymous with the word honor. The number one sport, at least stereotypically, that has to do with integrity. So you're going to sacrifice both of those. Run the risk of your career, of your contracts, of your dreams and your hopes. And you're going to do it for about $50,000. On a night that if you fought your heart out, you could get a bonus of 50 grand. On a night that if you fought pretty good, but it was better than the other guy, you're going to get a bonus of 25 and a guarantee to do it again for another 25, which brings you back to that 50. Would you do it? And I think I lost you a long time ago. I think when I asked you if you do it and then you wanted to play this game, you're going to say for $1 million. I bet hypothetically, as you played this game, that's probably what most of you said. Am I getting $1 million? I'd definitely do it for $5 million. No, we're not talking about that much. We're talking about a .com somewhere that carries prop bets and generally caps you at $500 before you have to redo it. Now, somebody got an inside track where they could bet a meaningful amount of money, in this case, $250,000. Now, they're going to get some kind of odds on it, but this is going to get alerted to hell and gone. Oh, and by the way, whoever this playboy was that put down the 250 grand is going to deal with the odds and is going to deal with the offshore and is going to collect it. It's not as though he's coming to give it to you. He's going to give you a cut of it, which is where I come back to a random guessable number of $50,000. That's kind of a lot to believe. Now, people do things every day that are hard for us to believe. First time I was ever in court, I was 24 years old. I was taking on the state of Oregon and take on the attorney general, who has an endless budget. I had a guy on the stand, and It was a fighter. You guys might know him, Jeff Munson. And Jeff Munson was getting ready to fight in a show that I was promoting for free. Jeff was going to do it for free. He was doing it as a favor to me, his friend. But Jeff had fought in the UFC. In fact, he'd fought in pay-per-view in the UFC. In fact, he fought on pay-per-view in the UFC in a main event for the World Championship. And the Attorney General side, the prosecutor, says to Your Honor, he says, I have a very hard time believing that this guy is going to go down to the Roseland and do this for free. Which I remember when he said it, just go, yeah, that is really hard to believe. Wow, Jeff, what a nice guy. I remember thinking this in this brief moment and thinking I'm going to lose that because that is really hard to believe. And the judge cut him off and said, people do things every day that I'm sure are hard for you to believe. Do you have evidence that he's being paid? And it was just a very powerful, it's a very, very powerful time in my life. I ended up winning this. It was a situation where not only did I win the entire case, but I won that moment. And I won that moment because the judge was right. Like, don't try to bring in evidence and point things and that are speculative. He's getting paid or not. How do you know? He's on the stand under oath and he's saying he's not. And that dude over there that would be in charge of paying him is about to get put on that same stand. And he's also saying they're not. So with what proof and what evidence do you come aside from the fact that you find it hard to believe? And this cheating thing, this cheating in this fixed fights, I will tell you if you just want my own opinion, just my own reaction. My own reaction to it is when I saw the numbers that the FBI had and the numbers that they saw and the way that the lines moved, is very abnormal. Very abnormal. In fact, it would be in line with cheating. Now, I know odds inside and out. And I know them inside and out because my father was a horseman. And every Saturday and Sunday of my life, I was on the backside of Portland Meadows, cleaning stalls, training, washing, shoeing horses before I came to the front side, where my father would place bets. We would watch the horses perform. They were 5-3, they were 5-2, he's going off at 8-1. I understood odds, and I will tell you it is very odd that they would swing as heavy as they did in this contest, particularly in this way, which for a first-round finish. But it's equally as odd that a sports book would take that kind of action from my own experience. From my own experience, you come in with a $250,000 bet on a fight that's got a total betting alliance of $11,000. Worldwide, $11,000 props, win, show, any way that you want to do it. $11,000 has come in on this specific ticket, and now we got some playboy placed a $250,000 bet, and he's pretty specific, saying it's going to be by finish in the first round. Well, that's a gamble. And before you say that's evidence and that obvious and there's obvious cheating, I would then just challenge you. Like, I agree with you and I see what you're seeing. But now let me ask you a different question. What is a gamble? What's a bet? And you're going to have to describe the exact same thing. So then you got these reports of this bet and this $250,000. And then you have the evidence of a fight, and you, as a non-fighter, have become an expert and decided that didn't look right. And when you put these two and two together, you got the whole thing figured out, and you just might. You just might. But before you go and hang somebody, which is what you're more than trying to do, before you do that, I will defer back to what the judge said to the prosecutor when I had Jeff Munson on the stand. Which is, I'm sure there's things every day that happen that are hard for you to explain. Do you have any proof?